Hello everybody, I am going to show you a freshly built i807. And why am I having a tripod in front of me? It's because last time I have an i807 video that somebody said that how come I only show the amps and not the power supply? And then I watched the video and I thought, yeah, why did I have a cover on the power supply only show the amp? So this time I'm going to show you the power supply and the amp too, because this one is special. Why is it special? Let me take the camera off on that tripod and move it to this one so you can actually look it from the top. I am taking the camera off. Okay, first of all, this customer said something. He didn't tell me much when he ordered it. And all he said was, I like red. Red it is. That's red silicone there. Helicopter pad red. Helicopter pad. Well, that one's kind of like a strawberry yogurt because when I mix that red, the bottom white silicone's not quite complete cure, so it's like I burst it and then strawberry yogurt. That's part of the fun. And I get more red silicone down there, and those are the red, and there's more red on the amp, but this is the red for the power supply. And I'd like to show you something that I usually do in my construction that is maybe uncommon on other construction. First of all, there's a lot of wire coming out from the transformer. There's four wires on the inputs, there's 10 wires on output, there's 14 wires in total. Each transformer is a 14 wire and they're in parallel. They're not dual mono, but they're in parallel to build up the wattage. And also, I don't really want to use too big of a core if I don't have to, if I have a choice. So I want to use smaller core, but not too small. But these are 300 V8 core and two of them are 600 V8. See that wire there? It move a little bit, and so as that move a little bit. And now also, if you notice the wire tie is not tight. That wire tie is not tight, and then put the dab of silicone to hold the wire away from the transformer. There's a gap between that. Even though all these wires are 105 degrees Celsius rating, I prefer not to have the wire touching the transformer, except the wire that actually come out from the transformer. You can't help that. But any other wire, or even this wire are from the transformer, I still like to keep it away. A little gap is just enough. Keep it away from the transformer. And I do not use the wire tie and pull tight on the wire. Well, initially, long time ago, I did, but I have improved the construction technique, and now my wire ties are loose. So you will have no stretch, no pinch, and no stretch on the wire. And why do I have all this silicone jumping around? That's part of my fun. When I build things, I have to have fun, and those are what I call silicone climber, silicone icicle. But some of them are actually have functional purpose, like that. It's actually separate the wire, holding the wire separate, keeping them apart. This glob is actually holding the wire together, and this glob is actually holding the wire away from the transformers attached to that capacitor. So they are functional. You see this silicone pad under the metal disc. Top and bottom, it has a silicone pad on top and bottom, and they are made out of silicone. Not a pre-made silicone pad, but it's a liquid form silicone. Usual, come from a tube, not quite liquid, but kind of jelly silicone form. So when I put the silicone on the transformer and whip them a little bit, the silicone itself forms the shape of the transformer because these are not perfectly flat. So when you put a flat washer in it, sometimes this wire sticking out, one of the wires stick out more than the other, can actually push through the rubber washer, meaning actually break through the rubber washer. I actually have a washer that has been broken through, and see, I can actually get it because I see the washer is right beside me on the bench. Let me see. It is this one. Yes, it is. You see that hole there? See the hole? That is because the wire has pushed through. So I stopped using just a single washer. I have been using double washer, but even that one is going through. And that one actually pushed through. You can see the light through it. I stopped using single washer. I doubled the washer, but even double the washer is not going to have a perfect contact surface area on the transformer. You're still putting a lot of pressure on a single wire. That's why you get the indentation like that. So I start using silicone as a washer. Use the silicone to form the shape of the washer. That's almost 100% contact surface area. I cannot guarantee anything 100%, but as much as possible. And that's why the way I did it, and that's why all these wires are slightly loose. They're not tight. They're all slightly loose. So that is for a purpose, because I want to have a little play, but not enough play that cause any trouble. So that's why they are like that. So this is a special power supply for the i807 that actually have color, red. And he likes red. He didn't ask me to put red in his amp, but he just told me that he liked red. So it's from my interpretation, I'm going to put more than just red wire. So that's red silicone. It was, and it is. So I went so far. The normal LED that indicating the input stage used to be green, but see that red LED. And I'm going to move the camera to this side to show you from the side, so you can see. From the top, you see a lot of wire that may looks like they are a mess, but if you see this, they are in layers. Okay, this thinner wires, it's on top of the thicker wire, and they are curved for a purpose, because they're coming out from two separate transformers. I want the same voltage winding has the same length as equal length as possible. It is impossible to get 100% exact same length because of the tolerance of the internal winding and wiring. But externally, I would like to get it as close as possible. But nowadays, people argue about it's 60 Hertz and 50 Hertz. The wavelength is not that important. But I am going to ask a question. This is a question in general. Now, we're building high-end audio, and we're supposed to get it as the best that we can. If we start saying, oh, this is not important, that is not important, when are we going to stop the not important? But on the other hand, I understand that there are crazy limits. That's like, should I say this? I might offend a lot of people. Ground box, fuses. I have difficulty to understand those. So let's come back to my things now. So I am trying to get the equal voltage wire, which you can see the same color as equal length as possible from the left transformer and the right transformer. The red and yellow, same thing, trying to get as equal as possible. That's why you see the extra curve from one transformer to the other, and this is extra curve. I can actually have the wire go direct to here, from here to there, but instead I curve it around, so to make it the same equal length from that side. Okay, so they curve around together first before they go to the rectifier together. Same thing on the red and yellow, and the red and yellows are actually bouncing up, and that's why I put a wire tie to hold the bunch of wire, pull it down a little bit, and there's also add some silicone on it to secure the wire tie so it doesn't move, because again, if I squeeze the wire, you can see the wire moving. It's not tight. You can see the wire can move. So nothing is tight. Now I am going to put the camera back on the tripod and Move it to the amp. I show you the power supply now. So don't complain I didn't show you the power supply. Now it's the amp. Now this amp is different than the last amp. That's why I'm going to show you. Put my camera down. No need to show you the front panel. Front panel is the same. I didn't do much red on the front panel, but they are red all over the place. Now, actually, I forget part of the power supply, the umbilical cord, the 2 umbilical cord. I put extra red. Ooh, that's red bubble, red silicone bubble. Does it have any functional purpose? Probably. Strength relief for the wire. And when you drop it, it will bounce. Okay. We are looking from the top of the amp, the bottom. And I am not going to waste up time this time to explain the wiring, because you can go back to the last i807 video. I will put that video link in the description. You can look at why I do all the wire like that. But in this one, I just want to show you the special helicopter pad. They're all red, and the heatsink. And this heatsink at no extra charge for this customer, because from a reliable source, this gentleman is a genuinely nice person. Engineer all life long, but he doesn't tell you he's an engineer. He doesn't need to. I'm not going to go into that, but if you follow me, you know how much I love engineer. So he like red, so I painted heatsink in red. Now, if somebody asks me, is paint going to cover the heat? Of course it does. So the darker the heatsink, usually is the better heat insulation. So am I going to lose heat dissipation? Of course it does. So what am I going to do? Well, I use a bigger heatsink. The heatsink itself, I'm not using the heatsink as a 100% capacity. Put it this way. You can allow the transistor to run hotter. Okay, so that's it. In this case, it doesn't. It doesn't even run 1 or 2 degrees hotter, because the capacitor of the heatsink is so much, and I'm not even using it close to 60% at full power. Now, any other red down there? I think that is red. There's more red down there. Let me see. I can pull. Yeah, there's more red down there. Let's turn it down this way. You can see all the op amps are red except this 4, because that is my favorite color. Then I can twist the boundary a little bit. I said, oh, that's the family of red. I hope he doesn't mind. There's all more red down there. More red. That's the red fountain under the capacitor. Again, I need to have some fun, so I got a whipped color silicone, and that's more red down there. There's red everywhere in this amp. I just didn't call it a red edition. Okay, I have enough fun of this amp now. So again, this purpose of this video are basically showing you the wiring of the power supply, and some of the reason that I wire the way that I do. I know it's not common. A lot of people just don't do it that way, because many, well, I cannot say more. Yeah, I can say most. Most companies want to move boxes as many as possible, so they have to design something that's easy to build for the cheap labor that they hire, and for the mass. So they have to put out hundreds, thousands, or even millions of product. Same thing. But I do it differently. I build things one at a time, and when I do things one at a time, I can adjust what I do, how I do, and well, this gentleman said he liked red, so I have fun with red. So next person might say he like green. I might have fun with him green too. That's just cosmetic, but the wiring is important. The curve, the big radius curve, I try my best to avoid sharp bend on wire, and so far I don't need any sharp bend. I know there are other manufacturers that purposely do sharp bend because it looks nice. It's like a pipe looks nice. Go this way and sharp bend this way. You can argue it doesn't make any difference, and I am not going to disagree with them. But if you ask some of the repair technician, they will say that wire eventually will stretch on the outer knee of the wire. This part will eventually stress and crack, especially in a power amp or power supply that transformer run warm enough. Those PVC will eventually crack. It's like metal fatigue, but take a lot longer to crack. And on a frequency point of view, it may or may not have any effect. I'm not gonna argue with anybody that somebody say that it doesn't. You know, if you believe in fuses, but you cannot hear a sharp bend of the wire. Well, that's their choice. Yeah, ground box too. Anyway, so that's the way I do things. That's the way I keep all the wire nicely curved. Much less chance to crack on the outer knee, and also it just lasts longer. And I have products that come back after 30 years and they still functional with a little bit of maintenance, but the wire is still in good shape. But I'm not going to drill into that. So I have enough fun on this video, so I am going to put this camera back on my original tripod and finish my video with my usual. I gotta put my glasses on first. Until then, stay safe. Bye.